The past 5 years, I have been collecting all kinds of weird animals. Everything from snakes, lizards, spiders, assassin bugs, to some more normal animals like a cat, backyard chickens, and recently a couple of gerbils sold to me as both male that turned out to be female and male. And I also have dangerous roosters that will attack you for no reason. So today I want to give you a tour of my animal-infested home, and I want to show you what it really takes to maintain them all. Every morning around 5 a.m. the roosters wakes me up. And if not them, the cat Mina will wake you. Even though he has indoor bathrooms, Mina prefers to do his business outside, viewing the sunrise. When he's done, he comes back inside and he wants food and he has no patience whatsoever. After filling his automatic feeder and water fountain, Mina basically takes care of himself. Once or twice a week we comb his fur to prevent hairballs, and we have developed a special technique for this.
Wagyu beef addirittura. So the technique is while he's eating the Wagyu beef, I'm gonna comb him down with the rough combination, but it makes a mess. So we also have the vacuum cleaner. So I can vacuum clean him at the same time as I'm combing him.
With the cat taken care of, it's time to release the chickens.
Buongiorno.
We let them roam freely in the garden to eat grass and forage for bugs, which has a lot of benefits, but they also make a huge mess and poop everywhere. I mean seriously, how much can a few birds poop? So every once in a while I have to clean it up, and I found that a leaf blower is a very effective tool for this.
One of my favorite things to do in the morning is to come here with Gucci. This is Gucci because of her feathers. It looks like a Gucci bag. What we typically do is I grab the shovel and I start digging. And Gucci comes and looks for worms. And she makes this funny noise. Not now. Almost like she's saying, yaha. Yaha. See what we can find here, Gucci. Here. Oh, this big boy. There's a millipede. Hier var el millipede. Hier var det. Cleopatra made it illegal to take worms from the ground. It was punishable by death because the worms are sacred. But I see it as a free food for my chicken and a fun Sunday morning activity. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, cat. Maggie. No. Good cheat.
When you have this many animals, it's good to divide the tasks. My girlfriend usually takes care of the chickens by filling their feeders, making sure that they have fresh water, and of course, poop scoop. Almost 1 year ago, we hatched 14 eggs. 9 turned out to be hens and 6 roosters. Unfortunately, you cannot control the outcome like you can with leopard geckos. The plan was simple: keep 1, maybe 2 roosters. Find new homes for the rest. But it turns out nobody wants roosters. My girlfriend had grown really attached to them. And seeing her so happy cuddling them like they were cats or dogs made me happy too. So she convinced me to keep them, even though they are extremely annoying. And not to mention dangerous. She had seen somewhere that you can create a bachelor coop. And it actually works as long as you keep them separated from the hens. You might think that roosters crow only in the morning. That's not true. They crow constantly. And the second that they hear or see you, kinda like an alarm system. Some people have guard dogs. I have guard roosters.
Now, I do keep most of the animals in the basement, but I actually have a couple in here that we need to visit first. In this enclosure, in this big one, lives Kiwi, my bearded dragon. He's about 5 years old. This is a 285-gallon enclosure, and I want to redo it soon because I don't really like this setup. I want to make a make background, and I want to have plants. I did initially add some rosemary bushes, but they just died off. I had grass in the previous setup, but it also died off. So yeah, this is Kiwi. Kiwi is actually my oldest pet. As I said, he's about 5 years old. And he's currently shedding a bit now, his skin, so he's a bit ugly and angry with me. But let's give him a salad. So if we move on from Kiwi, we come to this enclosure. This is an aquarium that used to be the home for my turtle, Hugo, a musk turtle, who's no longer living in here because I thought that this tank was just too small for him.
Hugo is now living in El Dorado, a 900-gallon paludarium with lots of swimming spaces, a huge land area for her to brumate in and dispose of any potential infertile eggs to prevent dystocia.
And to finish up this room, we have another enclosure on top of kiwis.
This used to be home to Pamela the Brazilian rainbow boa, but it's now home to a pair of gerbils. You see, some weekends ago we went to the pet store just to get some food for the animals, you know, mealworms, crickets and frozen rats for Pamela. We always stop by the rodent section just to take a look, and in the male gerbil tank there was only one left, and it's usually recommended to keep them in pairs. So my girlfriend felt bad for him and gave me the puppy eyes. Naturally I couldn't say no, so we brought Spenny home.
Troppo veloce.
The next day we went to another pet store to get Spenny a friend. This is Dusty. Spenny and Dusty got along just fine, and sometimes a little bit too good if you know what I mean. Apparently males can hump each other to show dominance. Then one day Dusty appeared very skinny all of a sudden. Dusty was in fact a female. If you listen carefully, you can hear tiny squeaking noises. Now, Dusty can have anything from 3 to 7 pups. We suspect that we have 5 to 6. It's hard to count. And as soon as Dusty has given birth, she's ready to get down with Spenny. So if we don't separate them, by month 2 we can have 14 gerbils. By month 3, the first batch start breeding with each other. By month 6, we'll have 150 to 200 gerbils. In a year, we'll have well over 1,000 gerbils. Let's close the door and move on.
Now let's continue the tour down in the basement. In this room we have my biggest paludarium and my biggest project so far. This is El Dorado. This is my 900-gallon paludarium that has morning geckos, vampire crabs, fire-belly toads, African dwarf frogs, neon tetras, corridoras, guppies, amano shrimp, and recently I added Hugo, the common musk turtle. And here's a funny clip of when I added him. I really love how the pothos is grabbing onto the background, like this is fixed to the background. Same thing here. This will eventually be all covered with pothos, and hopefully most of it back here as well. Of course we cannot see any morning geckos right now, but you can see their poop is everywhere, kind of destroying the plants. There's a gecko poop. I don't know if you can see that little boy right there. That's a fire-belly toad. We have 6 of them in here. There's another one right there. And what I do is I make sure that they have fruit flies to eat. Oh, they're all escaping. Oh my God. You see some of its yellow abdomen right there. That's why they're called fire-belly toads, because they have fire bellies. Many people were asking how I do water changes on this tank. I basically open up, and then I have this pump that I place inside. Then I bring the tube up out through the window. Mi bagno tutto il tappeto fuori, sì. And then I simply attach it. I make sure that the geckos have food in this dish right here. This is the same thing as I feed Rambo. So it's a complete crested gecko diet, but also, of course, morning geckos can eat it as well. We have the fruit flies. I usually put a lot of them on the dish like this, and then I just scatter it a bit everywhere. So it falls down, you know, so the geckos can eat it, the vampire crabs can eat it, the frogs, and if they fall in the water, the fish will have it. This is food for everybody. I then, of course, feed the fish. Make sure that everybody's well fed in here. A lot of reflections, but hopefully you can see something. And then I have these bigger pellets that I just drop a bit everywhere. For the corridoras and for the shrimp. We also have the African dwarf frogs that I haven't seen in a while. So I really hope that they're okay. And I also take the fish food and I scatter it on the logs like this, a bit on the land area. Just scatter it everywhere to make sure that the vampire crabs have the food that they need, isopods. Yeah. Just toss it everywhere like this. Oh yeah, when I moved the neon tetras in here, it accidentally brought a few guppies. So now I have guppies in here as well, and they keep reproducing like crazy. Someone asked me about the lights. I have 2 LED bars from Arcadia, the Luminize, which are very, very powerful lights. So they light up the aquatic section fine. I don't need any additional lights for the aquatic section. And then for the geckos, I have a UVB light. I think it's 6% UVB. Then I have a fan right here that currently has like 6 morning gecko eggs laid onto it. And I have another one on the other side. So they blow down air on the glass, making sure that there's no condensation. And besides the fan, I also have ventilation here. This is a hole that has some mesh so nobody can escape. And it's connected to this pipe. Hold on. It's connected to this pipe that has an integrated fan that blows out the air into the garden. So if there's too much humidity, I'll simply turn it on by connecting it. And now it will suck out the air or the humidity from this paludarium. It's really difficult to film this. Either it's overexposed or underexposed. And then here in the corner we have the misting system with water reservoir, and we have the filter. In the previous video, when I built El Dorado, I had to take down 5 smaller vampire crab paludariums to put them all in here. And I made a contest on who could guess how many vampire crabs I found when I took those 5 paludariums down. And the prize was one of these Geososarma posters from Indoor Ecosystem. And a lot of people got close, but nobody actually got it right. The grand total was 105 vampire crabs. So I took the names of the people who got very, very close and I put them in this flower pot. And it seems fair that we should just grab one and see who's the winner. Okay. Drum roll. The winner of the Geososarma poster is Santiago Ortero from Colombia. He guessed 104 vampire crabs. Just one crab from getting it right. How the heck am I gonna send a poster to Colombia from Sweden? Or maybe Indoor Ecosystem is gonna send it. But congratulations, Santiago, you won this Geososarma poster. Well, not this is mine. You're gonna get your own, but congratulations. So right now in the studio, there's a lot of things going on. A lot of rearranging, a lot of enclosures that needs to be redone, a lot of enclosures that needs to be rehomed. Because one thing people don't tell you about reptile rooms or owning a lot of reptiles is that in the beginning, you're very excited. You want to try out all the animals you can get your hands on. I want this spider, I want this scorpion, I want this lizard, this whatever. Just to realize that this animal isn't what I expected. I'm going to keep this mentality going forward. If I want an animal, it should be an animal that I've been wanting for a very long time and something that I'm excited about, something that I want to learn about or interact with. Kind of like the emerald tree skinks down here. This is my workbench terrarium, and in here I have a pair of emerald tree skinks, which is one of the most fun animals I've ever interacted with. And this terrarium used to be in the middle of the room, but I now moved it to the side just so I can move things around because, as I said, there's a lot of things happening in the studio. The female is called Pampinea and the male is called Mateuzzo. I used to manually mist this, but I've installed a misting system. It's the Nano monsoon from Exoterra, and I'm positively surprised. It's actually good enough for a tank like this. It has a heat lamp with UVB, it has an integrated fan, the misting system, and just a normal LED light. And I recently added some bromeliads to give it a more lush, jungly feel. This huge enclosure was meant for the emerald tree skinks, but now it's just a storage for 3 smaller tanks. We have blue, my Monocentropus balfouri, we have some vampire crabs, just baby vampire crabs, and we have my Jaeger's ground snake, Mango. Let's see if we can fish out blue. No, Mino, you cannot be here for this. Sorry. She's usually in this little corner, so let's see. There she is. Oh, whew. I'm not sure why, she's always so angry. Never wants to eat from a tweezer, she's always ready to attack. See? But she's really, really beautiful, and I named her Blue because Monocentropus balfouris, they have some blue tint right here on their legs and a little bit on the carapace. You might wonder, why do you keep an animal that you're so scared of? That's exactly my point from before. Don't just buy an animal because you think it's cool. Buy an animal because you really want it and you're interested about it. She is so close to getting out of the tank, so I'm gonna close up here before a disaster happens. Let's not forget to lock it. Oh yeah, a super cool animal, just a little bit too aggressive for me. This is a little paludarium that I built almost completely for free. A friend had this in his garage and he was throwing it away, and he asked if I wanted it. So of course I said yes, free aquarium. And then I went out to the forest and I picked up everything that you see in here basically. I just kept it because I really like it still. We have some baby vampire crabs in here. To the left of the vampire crab paludarium we have another one, but there's not vampire crabs living in here. I have a snake actually. A snake that eats fish, a snake that eats mice, lizards or small worms and stuff like that. But right now he's not out. His name is Mango. He's usually in the corner right here. And usually when he's hiding, he's about to shed. But I'll overlay a clip from yesterday when I fed him. I gave him some chopped up pieces of pinky. Obviously, he's not going to live his entire life in here because he actually gets 80 centimeters long or something, and maybe this thick. So he's going to live in a different enclosure. I'll show you soon. I had a lot of questions on how I keep the water clean in here. You see, I do a lot of water changes, and I also have the floating plants on top that kind of biologically filter the water. So maintenance, I don't do very much in here. I just keep the water nice and clean, and every day I spray it down once or twice. On top of the workbench terrarium, we have two small dark den enclosures. In this one we have some cockroaches that are extremely friendly. If you just leave it like this, they will come out and say hi, and they're not scared of my fingers whatsoever. If you're not careful, they will escape. No, you go inside, you go inside, you go inside. Don't. They will eat just about anything you give them. And they will also escape if you give them the chance. But, their favorite food, let's move this so they don't escape. Their favorite food seems to be just normal fish food. If you put it like this, they will just run up and start eating it right away. No, why would you? And the thing about these cockroaches is that they can climb glass. Because dubia roaches cannot, but these can. But these are my pets, these are not feeding roaches, because they were pretty expensive. No. Stay in there. Stay. And in here we have some millipedes that I also got from the Reptile Expo. And they are pretty cool. It's not fully grown yet, and I think I have 5 of them. But I have one in here that I can perhaps just grab real quickly. Yep. And these will also eat just about anything you give them. Fish food, fruit. The great thing is that you cannot drop it because it has like suction cups or something on their feet. Feels like it at least. Maybe they have super tiny hairs. You want to go back? In here, below everything, we have a Chrysler, my Malaysian forest scorpion. This is a skull that my girlfriend found of, I think it's a wild boar, that we placed like this, and inside it we made a tunnel. But it's usually behind this cork bark. Let's remove this cork bark carefully. There he is. There's no scorpion there, and then all of a sudden a scorpion appears. The cool thing about these scorpions is that they glow in the dark. See, I have this ultraviolet light, and when I shine on it, it reflects on him. I mean, it's pretty cool to watch and pretty cool to show people this trick, but that's just my point. Do you want an animal to show off to your friends because it's cool, or do you want an animal because you really, really want it? Anyhow, let's leave him alone. This is the trifecta wall. We have 3 similar enclosures. It's the Exoterra 90 by 45 by 90. In here we have Rambo, my crested gecko. He is basically super low maintenance. He's nocturnal, so he's obviously not out right now. But basically what I do is to make sure that he has some fresh gecko food. This is his favorite flavor, it's the banana. It's a complete crested gecko diet. And we just have one plant in here that is currently taking over everything. And this is a Ficus benjamina Daniel. This is one of the enclosures that needs to be redone. Please don't look at the poop. Doesn't matter if I removed this yesterday and he just poops all the time. Anyhow, this background method is a very old technique that I used to do. Not very old, last year I did it. But it's basically expanding foam covered with a water lily clay and then moss on top of it. And it's obviously not working because it's molding here, as you can see. We're gonna do an extreme home makeover on this tank soon. So this is the bar aquarium. This is going to be taken down soon because I'm no longer enjoying it, and the closer you look, the more you'll understand why. There's full of algae on the carpet and on the rocks. Perhaps I'll do something super cool in here with vampire crabs and big paludarium, but I can't do it in this tank. It has to be much higher. You see, I'm that person that finds a thing, and that thing I get obsessed with. Let's say mushroom picking. I was obsessed with mushroom a couple of years ago. I didn't know anything about picking mushrooms, so I went out into the forest and I didn't know what to pick, obviously. And I didn't want to die, because if you eat wrong mushrooms, you can literally die. So I took a mushroom class and I met my mushroom sensei, and he taught me the basics of picking mushrooms. Where to look for, what not to look for, which to pick, which not to pick. And slowly I became a pro.
This is a mushroom, and it's called chicken of the woods.
And I did that for a few years, obsessively. Picked every single mushroom that I wanted. But when I had picked every mushroom on my list, it kind of got boring. See, now I don't want this anymore. I want to do something different, something new, something... Yeah, exactly.
In here we have Zelda, my Chinese cave gecko. Of course, she's also nocturnal. But the cool thing about this is that I didn't add any of these ferns. They just appeared with the moss. I did this background with the same technique, foam and then water lily clay. This is something I need to be redoing as well. I'm going to remove all the moss, wash off the clay, and then cover it with make concrete. Perhaps I'm going to add a background on this side as well, a side ground. And her pond is currently blocked with duckweed. It's the only tank in my studio that has duckweed. But now I have to wash my finger, because if I put this finger now in an aquarium, we're gonna have a contamination. We don't want that. When I built this one, people were commenting that cave geckos are not arboreal. They usually live on the ground, but actually more often than not, I find her here, up here in the canopy. She's using every inch of this enclosure. And this is the new Pro Paludarium from Exoterra. It's not really done, so I'm just gonna give you a little sneak peek. Obviously, plants are missing. So basically we have a waterfall that falls down into this little puddle that then overflows into the pond. This setup is for my leucomellas, my poison dart frogs, which are currently living in here. They are both underneath these coconuts. Super skittish, super scared animals, I don't know why. And just like that, they're gone. See, if I take this light and I shine it in the door, you can see some morning gecko egg right there. And some there that already been hatched. But I'm basically waiting for these two to hatch so I can rehome them into El Dorado so that they can move in here and Mango can move in there. So yeah, everybody's waiting for these two geckos and then we can start the moving chain. But right next to the leucomellas, we have the red tank. This was an experiment to see if you can make an aquarium using just red plants. But this tank is over 1 year old and I'm really getting sick of it, to be honest. I want to do something different. I should have added Purigen in the filter because we have this tint to it, this black water tint to it, which is not really what I wanted for this tank. But we have some pretty cool fish in here. We have, these are called glass catfish. Sorry for the reflections. And we have some X-ray tetras, a bit shy. Maybe these one are not so shy. When I initially set this up, I added this red lotus, but it disappeared. And now for some reason it's coming back. What's that? I'm trying to make a video here, Priyanka. Go away. Unbelievable. So I need some help here figuring out what I'm gonna do next in this tank. I was thinking a lot of plants that doesn't need constant trimming, because this has been a nightmare to maintain. I've just left this now, I'm not doing anything. Ah! Oh, what's happening? Keep being interrupted. What was I saying? Anyway, besides the big red, we have a little terrarium housing some assassin bugs. And these are pretty interesting because they're very, very aggressive for being an insect. Basically, in their mouth, they have a little hook like this that they hook their prey, and then they inject them and liquefy the prey, and then they suck them out like a smoothie, kind of like a tarantula. Moving on from the assassin bugs, we have the nano tank corner, which has 4 small aquariums. I think they're like 25 liters each. And in this one we have an iwagumi with a Hemianthus calitrocoides cuba carpet, HC cuba, with some red cherry shrimp. This hardscape was actually made out of make concrete clay. You can't really see much of it now because it's covered with this Hemianthus calitrocoides. And also you can't even see the CO2 diffuser any longer because it's being buried. I've already raised it a little bit, but it keeps being buried by the plant. So I really have to trim this all the way down. But I'm kind of neglecting that because there's full of babies everywhere. And I didn't want to accidentally cut them with my scissors or, you know, scoop them out when I scoop out the plant trimmings. So I kind of left it like this and just let it go. But yeah, there's babies everywhere. I think I have like at least 50 cherry shrimp in here. And now there's a spider here that I have to rescue. Why? Go away. Oh, okay. And then besides it, we have Boba Fett. And we also have what used to be the home for my betta, Sam the samurai, but he passed away. We have a few... Alltså helt ärligt. Never get roosters. They're the most annoying animal on this planet. Anyway. So yeah, basically we have just a few Amano shrimp in here and a lot of algae issues. The plants are very healthy. The CO2 is going strong. We have this skylight focal light on top of it. It's very powerful. We actually have it on this one as well. I can really recommend it. I actually probably don't need to have it on 100%, and probably that's the reason why I have all this hair algae. So what I do to maintain the algae is to use a toothbrush and just brush it away like this. And both of them has an external canister filter. This one has the Oase Filter Smart 100, and this has the Siche Space Eco, I think, 100 or 120. And then we have a Scout Trooper here. Right next to the Scout Trooper we have my We Will Rule the World poison paludarium style aquarium. This is a diorama of a concrete structure that I used to go to when I lived in the city, when I need to escape the town and go to my quiet place. I used to sit right here on this little concrete structure and just listen to the water flow and the birds singing. And it's called the poison paludarium because you can see that there's two rats right there. One is doing a graffiti writing "We will rule the world," and then there's another one with a gas mask with a green mysterious poisoning liquid that is pouring into the water. And when I was there was an alignment of planets. There was an algae bloom in the water, so the water was completely green, kind of exactly like the color of this poison. So it actually looked like the rat was pouring out the green liquid to poison the water. And all the graffiti you can see here is my girlfriend's artwork. Let me move Darth Vader so you can see the skull. You might think that this is an T-Rex skull, but it's actually an Albertosaurus. And yes, there was a dinosaur called Albertosaurus. And beside the poison paludarium we have Darth Vader. And beside Darth Vader we have a Dutch style aquarium. It's called a Dutch style because it was invented by the Dutch, obviously. And it has a few rules. You cannot use hardscape, and you have to plant the plants in a specific way. Either long paths like this, or group them together one by one. So this is also Hemianthus callitrichoides cuba. I don't know why I say the whole name. It sounds fun to say, Hemianthus callitrichoides cuba. This is pearlweed, and I want to keep this real round, so I always come here and trim it to keep it nice and round. It actually needs a trimming session now. And in the middle we have Alternanthera reiniki mini, and we have Pogostimus helferi. I don't remember. And then we have Rotala wayand, we have Bacopa purple, and Rotala H. Ra. This one has a Chihiro's RGB2 Slim or something. But yeah, this is coming soon as well. I just need the plants to grow up, and I need to do a trimming session, and I need to make sure that everything looks nice.
So yeah, that's the nano tank corner. I'm slowly evolving from being a noob to becoming somewhat experienced in this. I mean, I've only been doing it for 2 years, but still, I think these tanks look quite good, if I'm being honest.
If we move on from the nano tank corner, we come to Pamela's enclosure. This is where my Brazilian rainbow boa lives, and I set this one up a few months ago. It has been doing fantastic, except for the plants. It was kind of expected that the ferns would die off, but I've added another plant. This is, some Scooby Bubbly Boom Dendron plant.
On the build video of this video, there were a lot of questions of what would happen if Pamela would go number 2 in the pond. Luckily, Pamela never does that. She always does it in the land area in the same spot, thankfully. So if she does poop in the water section, I would have to make sure to change the water completely and replace it with new fresh water.
I've also added some bromeliads right here and a climbing plant that actually flowers. It's not really flowering at the moment, but this will become a nice white, nice flower. Nice, twice nice. This is not the permanent home for Pamela. I don't even know where she is right at the moment. She's usually in this cork bark or in the hide. Yeah, so I built this hide to be able to remove the top. And for occasions like this, where I want to show you Pamela. So if I'm quick enough, I might just be able to get her out. Okay, I managed. This is Pamela, and she's kind of strangling me at the moment almost. I think she's 4 years old, so I guess she's fully grown at the moment. Oh, that's my new microphone. But yeah, she's getting real big, and tonight I'm gonna come back and we're gonna feed her a huge rat. She eats once a month, and she eats fully grown rats. And now she's grabbing onto me like I'm a tree trunk. Can you calm down, please? But yeah, if we move on from Pamela, we come to the last enclosure of the tour, which is Arturo, my leopard gecko. And Arturo is actually my oldest pet. He's in this cave right now. And he has one cave here, one cave in the middle, and one cave there. And I usually keep this one a bit moist. He has 2 plants in here at the moment because the other plants died off. This is a Ficus benjamina Daniel from Rambo's tank. And we have a little fern there that I don't know if it's gonna make it. And I added a few cork bark branches as well. And this hide I usually keep moist, so if he needs to shed, he can go in here and shed. And this enclosure also has a foam clay background, which is something I want to completely get rid of. I want to have all my backgrounds made out of make, just because it lasts forever. And yeah, you don't have to worry of it washing off. He has a water dish, and every day I come here and I just let it overflow. So I change the water in a sense, so he has fresh water every day. I'm keeping Arturo here until I know where I want to place him and how the new layout of the second studio is going to be. I do actually have one last enclosure to show you, and that's the old crabby gecko tank. I didn't want to show you this one, but I guess I have to because I'm in a pickle here. You see all these things on the glass? Hopefully you can. And the closer you look, the more you'll see. You see how many there are. We also have another insect in here, and this is the black beauty stick insect. But if I take this sprayer and spray, you'll see them start moving. It was never my intention to breed them. I was gifted a pair. You see, this is the adult. You see that fat stick behind there, that's the female, I think. And that's the male. And they have produced all these babies. So just from one pair of stick insects, I now have 1 million. I mean, if you look at the glass, they're everywhere. It's ridiculous. But I can't keep all of these, so I have no idea what to do with them. Maybe I should put them in a Dorado. I shall retrieve into my cocoon now. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. And I'll see you in the next one.